All right, so back to where I was at before. So I need to double check. So at 10 plus 50, let's say right here on this center line, I am going to add a spot grade. So I'm going to go to the Home tab. I'm sorry, Annotate. I'm going to click up here where that little tag symbol is. And I'm going to pull this down to Surface. And I'm going to pull this tag down to Spot Elevation. And I'm going to click on Proposed Grade. And I'm going to hit the space bar. And I'm going to hit Road A Surface 1. And I'm going to click to the midpoint of this point right here. So it says 8444. That is absolutely correct. Now, I can look at 11, midpoint. 11, 8369. Now, I am going to copy this point, CO for copy, from the midpoint to perpendicular here, perpendicular here, perpendicular here, and perpendicular to here. All right? I snapped to the wrong one, so let's make sure that we're at the correct alignment. All right, so the reason I'm doing this is I want to check. So from 84.44 minus 85.22, I got 0.78 feet difference between this spot elevation and this spot elevation. So I'm going to come over here and I want to check, let me move this out of the screenshot. I need to check linearly from this endpoint here to this point right back here. So it says 0.77. I have 0.78. There might be a little bit of rounding. So that, I mean, you're talking about 100th. A 100th of a foot is only 0.12 inches. So that's close enough, okay? So you can also do the math of this. So let me see if I have a calculator. I'm not sure if I can do this or not. Let me go calculator. I don't know what calculator will pop up. All right. So let's do some math here. If I had 84.44 and I go down 2% at 11 feet minus parentheses, oops, escape, 84.44 minus parentheses 11 times 0.02 close parentheses, enter. So that's correct. All right. So typically the elevation difference in a curb and gutter here is a half a foot, or about between 4, I don't want that one, I want that one, between 4 to 6 inches, okay? So here to the back here, elevation difference is 0.47. So 0.47 times 12 is 5.64. I'm good with 5.64. So let's pull my calculator back up, okay? So if I add plus parentheses, I don't need the parentheses. Oh well, 0.47. That's that 5.6. So I've got 5.69. There's 5.7 there. I'm a 100th off again. Now I'm going to add to that 7 feet times 0.06. That's the 6% slope. 85.11. And then I'm going to add parentheses 5 feet times 0.02. That's what I put my sidewalk slope at. And it's at 2% because of ADA standards. And then enter. So 85.21. So there's 100th out there, and I'm pretty sure it's rounding errors in the computer. That's not bad. That's close enough. You're only talking about, like I said, 0.01 feet, which is 0.12 inches. Okay? So that looks good. So I feel comfortable with the spot elevations that the computer is calculating the cross section correctly. So these look good for spot elevations. Now I want spot elevations in the back. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. I use a feature line sometimes, or sometimes what I do, and I'm going to show you the easier way. When it's linear, I'll use feature lines later in another video, but when it's linear, you can actually add on to your assembly and it'll update. So example, if I'm going from station 10 plus to 13 plus, and we said this was 100, I am going to add 110 and extend the cross section on the right side. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and delete that just to get it out of the way. Go to your Home tab, click on this little button here, your tool palettes. What pops up is this. So you can, well, I don't even need that. I'm going to change this right here to, instead of 10 feet, I'm going to do 110 feet at 1%. Okay. So now you can see over here, I get this little symbol. I'm going to right click and just rebuild. Now I've got all these contours built out to 10 feet past the right-of-way line. And now I can create, and I can just copy, control copy. The labels from intersection from here, and I can tag them at the endpoints of each of these lines. Okay, these won't because I don't have grades on those. All right, now I also double check to make sure this is correct. So if this is 880 and I am going 100 feet at 1%, here is the difference. So if I went from here and I went perpendicular, so I've got 880 here and I've got 881.82 here. So I've got 2/100ths off, and the reason is I'm on a curve. Okay, now if I looked at this one, I have 82.03 and I have 83.03. So 100 feet at 1% is only 1 foot. If I came back down here and I changed my mind and I said I need 2%, so I just clicked on the line and it says slope, I changed that to 2%, then it helps if I typed in, helps if I typed in 2. I have to rebuild, but I want to show you this. Stop. Watch this. So I rebuild, and it automatically updates for me. Okay, that's the nice thing about Civil 3D. The other thing that goes a little wonky though is the cross sections through here. All right. Notice how this is building out. I need to get, I'm kind of stuck. Hold on. Now ask yourself, why does it look like this when everything was so linear before? The answer has to do with your profile. So your profile has a vertical curve in it. So linearly, it looks perfect. And then out here, it goes a little wonky. Now, a lot of the times you can use the contours as they are, but see how jagged this gets? This isn't very smooth and doesn't make a lot of sense. So a lot of the times we'll take our contours And then you can either smooth them out a couple of different ways. Sometimes I'll see people explode the contours and rebuild them. But I'm going to leave it as is for right now, just so that it makes makes a little bit more sense. Now here's the other problem. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on trying to clean it up, but I do need y'all to recognize also from the why does this side have an extension over 100 feet? Okay, when I only put it on the right side. The reason is on this side, the stationing goes out 100 feet to the right. It is trying to connect the lines in between. Let me turn on this. Look. I'm going to have to do it this way. My snaps aren't working. So I'm going to go edit surface properties. And I'm going to pull this down and go triangles and tens, apply, and OK. So this is bogus information here. So I would edit the surface and delete these lines again. Okay, that information is correct. I'm sorry, that information is incorrect because it is trying to connect between these 2 points here. So I'm going to show you another option using the feature lines, like I said. So you're going to go to feature line. You're going to create a feature line. When it pops up, just go ahead and let this be all default and then go OK. What you're going to do is you're going to have a start point here and you're going to have an end point. Oh, I'm sorry. It says specify the elevation. You're going to type in 79.88. Hit enter. You're going to hit the end point here. And you're going to do, let's say you're going to do a specified grade. I'm going to do 1%. So I'm going to type in 1 and then hit enter. Now you don't see anything, right? But click on the line that you just created and you'll see that it's called a feature line. You're going to click on feature editor and then you're going to see that it goes up the 1%. So grade, not slope, grade. All right. Now I'm going to do this for the other lines. So feature line, create feature line, OK, endpoint. Oh, I forgot to label that one. So I'm going to copy this from the endpoint to the endpoint. And that one's already going. So sorry about that. Feature line, create feature line. OK. Endpoint. I'm going to type in 79. The other thing that you could do is actually tell it to use surface and then pull down the road surface and then OK. Don't worry about relative yet. Go OK. And then you're going to pick the endpoint and then you're going to type in 1 because it says specify grade. Now you would think when I clicked on this it would be that. It's not. You have to hit the editor every time. So I am going to come back. I am going to go feature line, create feature line, OK, endpoint, surface, OK, endpoint, 1, enter, enter. Always check your feature lines to make sure they're reading correctly. Okay, last time, feature line, create feature line, OK, endpoint, surface. You could type it in if you wanted. Endpoint, 1, because I'm specifying the grade, endpoint, endpoint. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, double check this, like I said, make sure everything's reading right. Looks good. Now, I'm going to click on all 3 of these. And I'm going to, when I do that, the contextual ribbon comes up. I'm going to add to the surface as a break line. It asks you select the surface. I'm going to pick the road A surface. I'm going to click OK. You can say these are the rear lot lines. You can give it any description you want. Lot lines. I'm not going to change the weeding factor supplemental or information. I'm just going to leave it as default. I'm going to click OK. Now it builds it out. Now this information out here is bogus. So I'm going to click on the surface. I am going to edit the surface. I'm going to delete the line. And I'm going to delete from here to here. All right. And there we have our grades. I'm going to change this back to, I don't know why I can't pull this down. Snapples. So I'm going to edit surface, which is nice because Civil 3D always gives you multiple ways. I change it to 1 and 5 in design, apply, and OK. All right. Now, I am going to, the other thing I like to do is make sure on your layer management, LA. So I'm going to go, I'm going to find the feature line and I'm going to put them both. Sometimes I'll create my own feature line. I'm going to put them on a no plot layer. No plot, no plot. I can still see them, but when I print, it won't plot the layers. All right. Now I'm going to copy, Control copy, F3, endpoint to endpoint to endpoint to endpoint to endpoint. Okay, so now I've got spot grades out here. You could create feature lines for the other ones also. All right, now the next thing I want to show you is we're going to create our grading plan. All right, I'm going to stop here now.